Good evening, everyone. I am Dr. Gajendra Dubey. I am Associate Professor of Cardiology at UN Mehta Institute of Cardiology and Research Center. So today evening, I'll be briefly talking about 3D echocardiography. So 3D echocardiography is a latest addition to our imaging armamentarium. So concept of 3D has been in existence since the 70s, but the initial attempts to acquire 3D images were limited by the computing power of the imaging systems. However, the scenario changed in 90s and 2000s, and there was a remarkable improvement in imaging and computing systems. So this led to rapid development of 3D echocardiographic imaging. So during initial part, the imaging was not real time. They used to reconstruct it from multiple 2D images of heart acquired using multiple methods, and then they interpolated it to 3D imaging. However, real-time 3D imaging was first developed in mid-80s, and since then it has evolved rapidly to current state. So the transducers also have undergone massive changes. The earlier generation transducers were quite large with a big footprint, and it was quite uncomfortable to record images from these transducers, and the image quality was also not that great, the 2D image quality. However, the current generation transducers are pretty compact and they are almost similar to the transthoracic echo transducers, and the imaging quality is wonderful, both 3D as well as 2D. And with the latest generation of machines, simultaneous image acquisition, multiple plane acquisition simultaneously, and image recording 3D images in a single heartbeat is very much feasible. And the imaging is real time and it can be processed online as well as offline. So there are few basic 3D imaging modalities which are commonly used. The one is live 3D. It is used for live imaging and procedural guidance, say whenever you are doing some device closure like ESD device closure or some paravalvular leak closure. Then there is a 3D zoom mode. It is used to image a particular structure of interest, say mitral valve. If you want to look only at the mitral valve, then we use 3D zoom mode. Then there is a full volume acquirement, full volume mode. In this, we acquire the entire cardiac volume in the view. This is used for assessment of ejection fractions, volume and mass of ventricle, atria or other chambers of interest. Also from this full volume, we can crop areas of interest and look at them in detail. And the fourth modality is the X-plane imaging. So it is basically a 2D imaging modality in which with just one view, you can get a perpendicular view to that particular view. Say if you are imaging in parasternal long axis, then you will get the short axis simultaneously without changing the probe position. And multiplanar reconstruction can be done from 3D images offline as well as online. So basic protocol or algorithm for 3D image acquisition is as demonstrated in this slide. First of all, we have to get a good 2D image. Good resolution 2D image is must for a good 3D image. So an optimal 2D image should be acquired by optimizing the gain, depth, focus settings. And then the acquisition modes should be selected. Modes which I have just told, that is either live or 3D zoom or full volume. And then it should be 3D rendered, which is done by the machine, and then it has to be displayed. So there are AHA guidelines for display also. Each and every structure should be displayed in a pre-specified manners. This has been made to bring a uniformity in display as well as reporting of 3D images. So what are the uses of 3D echocardiography? 3D echocardiography is very useful in assessment of LV ejection fraction and volume. So it gives us an objective assessment of EF and volume, and these volumes and EFs correlate very well even with the cardiac MR standards. Also the mitral valve anatomy, assessment of mitral stenosis as well as mitral regurgitation is it can be done very well with 3D imaging modality, and it offers details which are more useful than a 2D image. And then it can be used for guidance of transcatheter procedures like device closures for various congenital heart defects or paravalvular leak closures. Then it is very useful, according to my experience, it is most useful in the evaluation of prosthetic heart valves, as I'll show some examples later. Also evaluation of aortic valve prior to TAVI, and in evaluation of mass and volume of other cardiac chambers as well as dyssynchrony assessment. So in these cases, 3D echocardiography is quite useful. So advantages of 3D over 2D, it is accurate and reproducible assessment of cardiac chambers. So there is no need for geometric assumptions about the shape while calculating ejection fractions and volume of cardiac chambers. and it gives a better understanding of structural relationship of various cardiac structures. Plus, it can give us intraprocedural live guidance of different cardiac transcatheter procedures. So I have so these are few examples which I have of 3D images and videos which I have acquired at my hospital. So this this video is showing on left hand side there is a 2D image of a prosthetic mitral valve with large paravalvular MR. So the same can be beautifully seen in this 3D video from the LA aspect. This is the surgeon's view. We can see the prosthetic heart valve ring has almost separated from the annulus, and there is a large area of dehiscence and with rocking movement of the prosthetic heart valve, as well as we can see few vegetations here also. So it provides us a great detail about the anatomy of the prosthetic heart valve as well as the dysfunction or the defect which is there. So this another video is of prosthetic heart valve thrombosis. So this is a 2D image which is showing restricted mobility of one leaflet. And this is the corresponding 3D image from left atrial aspect. So it shows that one leaflet is entirely immobile and it is stuck in closed position with some thrombus adherent to the leaflet. So this is another example of prosthetic heart valve thrombosis. This is a Sri Chitra valve which seems relatively well moving on 2D image, but the 3D image shows that mobility although is preserved, but there are multiple filamentous structures or thrombi which are attached on the left atrial side of this prosthetic heart valve. This is a great example of utility of 3D or advantage of 3D over 2D. This is aortic valve, prosthetic aortic valve. We are not able to see any thrombus or any gross deformity on this aortic valve in 2D image. However, the 3D image from the aortic side clearly shows that there is a significant amount of thrombus which is present on the leaflets of prosthetic aortic valve and hampering its mobility also. So this patient was thrombolized with streptokinase and subsequently her valve mobility normalized. So this is another example of pannus with paravalvular leak. So pannus is very difficult to image via 2D echocardiography, while it can be very well seen on 3D echocardiography. This patient had a prosthetic aortic valve with high gradients. The high gradients were persistent over a period of 6 to 8 months. So we did a 3D esophageal echocardiography on this patient. And this image, it shows pannus growth over the aortic valve arising from the ring of the aortic valve and leading to a narrowing of this orifice above the aortic valve. And simultaneously, we can also see a defect at around, say, between 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock. And in the corresponding color 3D image, we can see a leak, color leak also, which is arising from there. And this was a paravalvular leak, which was arising from this. This patient underwent a redo surgery for removal of pannus as well as repair of the paravalvular leak. Native valves also, it is very useful. This is a case of rheumatic mitral stenosis. We can see the valve anatomy in great detail, and this 3D image is showing this restricted opening of the mitral valve as well as the two commissures, and plus there is this huge chunk of calcification which is present at the posteromedial commissure, and it is attached to the commissure also. So this detail is not seen in 2D echocardiography, and it also helps us in selecting patients who are better suited for either BMV or mitral valve replacement or repair also. This is the LV aspect of the same valve. It's showing the classical fish mouth opening or appearance of a rheumatic mitral valve. This is another interesting rare congenital anomaly of a mitral blood cyst. On 2D echo, we can see an echo-free cystic type of structure attached to the mitral valve, and this is the corresponding 3D image which shows us the accurate exact site of attachment of the cyst as well as its shape, and it also shows that it is interfering with the coaptation of mitral valve leading to mitral regurgitation. So this is an example of the multiplanar reconstruction which I was talking about earlier. So this modality on 3D echocardiography gives us this freedom to accurately measure the area. Say if you want to measure the mitral valve area at the tip of mitral valves, which is frequently not possible with 2D imaging. So it can be very easily done in this 3D MPR. Radiologists are quite familiar with this multiplanar reconstruction, where we get 3 planes. That is, one is the imaging plane, the other one is orthogonal to it, and the third one is the short axis. This fourth one is the 3D volume. So we can accurately align the lines at the tip of mitral valve and get exact mitral valve area at its tip. And this is an example of LV function and volume assessment via using 3D echocardiography. So it is similar to the multiplanar reconstruction. We have to align the lines according to the endocardial border, and then it gives us accurate measurement of systolic and diastolic volumes as well as ejection fraction without any geometrical assumption about the shape of left ventricle. So these are few examples of congenital heart defects which I have imaged with 3D echocardiography. This is a large ESD. So it tells us about the shape as well as the largest dimension of ESD and its margins also. So it can help us in better selection of candidates for device closure. So this is the first one is a large ostium secundum ESD, and it is almost elliptical in shape. The second one is a small ESD with good margins all around. The third one is the left ventricle aspect of a post-MI ventricular septal rupture. This patient underwent surgery, but this image beautifully shows us the size and shape of this defect. And with that, I would like to thank every one of you for your kind attention. Thank you.